And the Fantasy Football Mafia is live once again. Once again without Brian.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just us now, man. Whenever he comes on, it's just an added entertainment value.
Well, for sure. He is the entertainment value for sure.
He is. It's fun to make fun of him, that's for sure.
He's been too depressed lately. I mean, our thoughts are with him. I mean, he's good, guys. He's good. It's just.
I mean, it's not because of his fantasy team. His fantasy team is actually doing better than both of ours, and he actually beat
me last week. Yeah,
he did. So it's not because of that. He's still good at fantasy. It's just other things.
And you would think since he beat me, you would think he would really miss this to just clown on me, but he still missed it. Just a little.
Seriously, that's something he loves to do too. So it must be really bad.
And he won the weekend pick'em by picking the Chargers over the Raiders. So it's like he could have double dunked on me, and he still
really. He had a pretty good week.
He did, but if the Raiders won, I would have won pick'em for the week, but didn't have it.
I think
couldn't do it.
Well, I think Raiders too, huh? That was
you did. You went with me on that one, which I was part of the reason why we lost because I was always alone on the Raiders picks through 4 weeks. But anyway.
Well, now I know not to pick the Raiders.
There you go. And then we'll win every single game when you guys are on the other team. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, a few things you want to get into today. We're going to do a quick recap of last week, the top guys, the bottom guys, hot and cold, who we're sticking with, who we're not sticking with. We're going to get into waivers, who we think you guys should pick up, and who we're going to pick up probably in our leagues, how much bid money we should put. We should probably let the guys know. And what else did we need to touch on today, Joey?
I brought up rookie talk, rookie QBs. This is the week they all finally showed flashes of something. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, short term and long term, make kind of projections, if you will, with that. And then the injuries, news and notes. So we're going to lead off with that. I have a decent list here of the injuries that occurred this week. Let me scroll to it. I'm sorry.
Let's go. Yeah, we'll start with that.
So David Montgomery was probably the biggest name that went down after having a really good day. He was writhing in pain. I immediately thought ACL, but it seems that he avoided a serious injury. I think the report today, or maybe it was yesterday too, right after the day after, was that he avoided an ACL tear, but I think it's a bad MCL sprain. So a 3 to 5 week projection. But with these MCL sprains, these could, be maybe potentially a little longer than 5 weeks. It all depends on the player, but a significant injury nonetheless. So you got to plan accordingly with David Montgomery out of your lineup for sure the next few weeks.
Yeah, the saying 3 to 5 weeks is a lingering issue, most likely, as you said. So whoever the backup is, or what you're going to talk about in waivers.
We will, yeah. Damian Williams, I think it's Khalil Herbert, the rookie, but we'll get to that soon. Antonio Gibson, undisclosed, actually. It says undisclosed injury, but he came into the week hobbled, and I think it was a shin or a calf issue of some sort. So, and I'll say WFT, Washington football team, they got ravaged by injuries in 1 week. Brandon Scherf, their all-pro guard, is going to be out for a couple weeks with an MCL sprain as well. Like I said, Gibson came into the week hobbled. John Bostic, their starting middle linebacker, is going to be done for the year.
What are they drinking in their Kool-Aid, man?
Yeah, Torrey McTyer, their starting corner, is going to be out for the year. And I think, Ryan Fitzpatrick's also been out. So there you go. It's been a lot. Heineke's been doing really well. But
yeah, he actually has been doing pretty well. Bobby mentioned him in the stream on the waivers.
And we got a comment real quick. Mentality, appreciate you coming on, man, and watching us. Damian Williams, Cordero Patterson, or Miles Sanders this week. I know that Atlanta plays in the London game against the Jets. The only problem with Cordero Patterson now, he's been great. I mean, he's kind of had that Mike Williams flair up until this point, and he's actually producing still because Mike Williams had a dud last night. But Cordero Patterson is only playing 30 to 40% of the snaps, and he's just producing at an alarming clip. It's pretty scary to keep or to roll him out every single week, but I think you have to, right? I think you might want to just pull him in the flex until he burns you, almost in a way, because you don't want to be keeping 30 points on your bench.
For me, if I had to pick one of these, I'm going with To be honest, I'm going with the new starter, Damian
Damien
Williams.
against the Raiders.
Because, yeah, I think he's the guaranteed volume out of the three if
Oh,
he's
yeah.
playing. Because Cordell, yeah, he had those 3 touchdowns, but he only played like 30% of the snaps.
Yeah, I have it
I mean, it's
23 of
crazy he got
76
three
snaps.
touchdowns out of that, but
Yeah.
that's what I'd be a little concerned with. And he did great, but if you want to get the for sure volume, I'm going with Damian Williams. He's going to be the starter right away for a couple weeks and whatnot. So I'm going with him if I had to pick one. Miles Sanders, who knows what's going on with him? I don't trust him right now.
Yeah, I don't even know who the Philly plays this week. Does anybody have an idea? Let me see. Do you have the?
To answer this, no, I would stick with. I don't know about you, Joey, but I would stick with Marquise Brown. He's playing.
Yeah, Marquise Brown's playing really, really well. But I
He's a
think
starter.
with
He's
both those players, they're both lottery tickets. So mentality, I think like you're looking at Marquise Brown and Patterson as lottery tickets. So you have to like take the good with the bad with both of those kind of guys. So again, we stress this a lot on this podcast and our crew with Fantasy Football Mafia is that it's kind of really up to you and how you look at your lineup week to week in your matchup. Like if you feel like you're behind in points or you're gonna like the projections aren't really in your favor, you kind of need that you can get it all in one play kind of guy. That's Marquise Brown. He's getting more volume too, but like he's still a lottery ticket. And CPAT definitely is a lottery ticket because he's only playing 30 to 40% of the snaps. He only lined up 12 at running back, 11 at wide receiver, 23 of the total 76, but he still end up with like 30 plus points, right? And Damian Williams is just going to get the volume, so that's a safe floor. So I hope that helps. Where were we? Oh, Jimmy G. Another injury that happened, a calf injury. Trey Lance, we saw Trey Lance. Let's get the rookie some love there. He had 20.
Oh my gosh! I hope he plays next week, man. I need him. I need you, Trey. Get him my lineup.
Trey put up about 20 points in a half.
Yeah, in a half, bro.
Right, so
he didn't even play well, honestly. Like football wise, he didn't play well, but fantasy wise, let's go. He's playing. Put him in your lineup.
Was it me or did you think that he played just so fast? Like he was always like a bull in a china shop, just like
bad. Yeah, he was bulleting. Like literally, he was every pass was a bullet too. It was just like
too. Yeah,
straight out of a cannon. So
it's like, dude, chill out, bro. Chill out.
Yeah, he was. I mean, just to be put in there like that, it was kind of like what happened to Justin Fields, and so it's. I feel like he'll have a better week next week, and it's a kind of a tough matchup against
Arizona. It could be pretty friendly, man. That could be a high scoring game. Both sides can really move the ball, and then Debo, that guy keeps producing too. That's one guy we're gonna talk about later in like the hot and cold type players and how we look at those kind of guys there. Will Fuller, broken finger. It just says hand injury, but we got more description that it's actually a finger. I think that's a 2-week layoff, unless he can play within splitting it up. But right now it seems like a 2-week projection. Tony Jones, not too fantasy viable for DFS players if you're taking a flyer, I guess. De'Ami Brown, Washington football team. I guess that's another injury that I didn't even know. I just looked at my list again. And Logan Thomas, another Washington football team injury. So Washington football team.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that.
Ravaged. My Raiders got pretty walloped in the Monday night game. 3 corners went out. It was just not good. So anyway, want to give you guys those news and notes, some things to monitor. I think the next segment is
actually some new news that just came in a couple hours ago. Is Chris Carson didn't practice today because of a neck injury. So I don't know how significant that is, but something to keep an eye on. And actually brings up waivers. Some guy I do like actually is Alex Collins, who's been getting some play time, even with the Carson being healthy. So now with the Carson having a neck injury, yeah, I would probably try. If you can't get any of those other running backs, maybe look at Alex Collins so somebody could stash and wait.
Yeah, so those other running backs are definitely Damian Williams is a priority ad.
Yeah, he's number one.
Samaje Perine maybe for Joe Mixon because Joe Mixon got hurt on Thursday night. Chris Evans got a couple snaps. He's more the pass catcher. So I think in Cincinnati's backfield, in my opinion, I think that you're going to see more of a committee approach there because Samaje is definitely more ground and pound. Chris Evans is their pass catcher role. Not to say that maybe they'll use Samaje in a pass catching role, but I don't envision that. That's just my take.
Yeah, with
And
With
then,
Samaj,
go ahead.
sorry. So with Samaje, probably only starting 1 or 2 weeks, if that. And like you said, most likely I agree to probably be in a committee type backfield. That's why I have him as the second waiver pick behind Damian we project is probably going to be the starter. They have a rookie behind him, so probably not much play time for him. So I'm going with Damian as the number one guy. Now, who else do we have?
And then you said like Alex Collins, you brought up his name because of
I like
Carson.
Alex Collins. But number three, I'd probably put Brandon Bolden because he's taken over the James White so far.
You
I mean, who
think?
knows with the Patriots?
Yeah,
So
you never
far.
know. You never know. And he didn't play too much either. I don't have the snap count yet. I'm gonna get to that. I usually have
As
these
far as a
snaps.
guy that you know is gonna get some volume and this, especially for PPR, which you guys should be playing at.
Yeah, Kenny
Uh,
Gainwell's another guy. If he's still out on your on waivers, I'm not sure how his ownership percentage is, but
I mean, if
Gainwell
you're the
played
Miles Sanders owner, pick him up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played 35% of the snaps and leads the Eagles with a 12.3% target share. So that's valuable for PPR. And since Sirianni was with the Indianapolis Colts, Naheem Hines had relevance last year. So I think he's kind of in that Naheem Hines role for the Eagles. So there's value there. I'm trying to look for others real quick. Is there anybody else that comes to mind for you?
How about Daryl Williams for Kansas City? He's been getting a little bit more volume.
Little bit, yeah.
And
I just
also,
think
he's
it's more of
a
if
good
you have a
handcuff.
decent spot. I don't think it's more of an ad. I think if you have Fab or if you have waiver like claim,
Yeah, it's a
don't waste the
free.
spot.
Yeah,
Free.
yeah, yeah. It's a free guy that if you want someone you could stash for later as a handcuff, and who does get kind of volume now, you can put him on your bench. Andrew says I'm trying to trade for Jacobs. I think his family definitely dropped because the Raiders O line. I'm thinking trading Gainwell and possibly Aguilar for him, depending on the other guy's needs. Thoughts? Well, unfortunately, I know the guy who has Jacobs, and he's very smart, and he would not take this trade because he actually really likes Jacobs. And I don't think the O line is that bad. I actually think he ran pretty well last night, even with him lingering with the ankle injury and the turf and
He
all
wasn't
that.
healthy. No, he wasn't
Yeah,
healthy.
he wasn't healthy, and I still think he looked pretty good. And what I really liked is he got 5 targets and he caught all of them. He didn't get much yards, but the fact that he's getting targets looked good. And they didn't use Drake too much. I don't know if Drake was hurt too or something.
No, Drake played. He was on the field a lot towards the end of the game because Jacobs couldn't finish the game. I don't think he could finish the game. I saw Drake down there in the last couple of drives of the game. But his role is just so in question. I really thought they would utilize him way more, and they're just
Yeah, that
not.
was weird. I liked it as a Jacobs manager. I mean, that was cool, and that's what really what I really liked. I mean, yeah, I shitted on him last year because he sucked at the end of the year, and it kind of screwed me. But it's a new year, and yeah, don't talk about that anymore, Andrew. Thank you.
I'd say if Hunter
Lakers
Renfro's
lost. You're stuck.
Hunter Renfro's on your waiver wire, man. You guys got to get him up now.
Well, if you want to go to receivers, you want to go to receivers now?
Yeah, I don't think there's too much more.
Our order is, if you want to just our top 3 guys, Damian Williams, number 1, P. Ryan, number 2.
For as far as running backs, are you talking about all positions? Because I don't think P.
No, running backs.
Yeah, running back positions for sure. Yeah, Damian, P. Ryan, and then I'd probably say Gainwell. Gainwell might be third. Gainwell might be second, actually. Gainwell probably second, then P. Ryan, to be honest with you.
Wow, okay. And
I like Gainwell a lot. Yeah.
I say Williams, P. Ryan, and Bolden is my top 3 at receiver.
I'd probably put Bolden. Oh, no. No, I like P. Ryan more than Bolden. Bolden's like another free spot, I think, if you have the position and you don't get those other guys, especially if you're in a league where it's like standard, where we're in reverse standings and you're doing well, where it just gifts free agent pickups or waiver claims to the bottom feeders, I guess, if you will. I don't like those style, but that's just how sometimes it goes. But if you have Fab, I wouldn't waste any money on Bolden.
How much Fab are you willing to put on Damian Williams?
Well, I especially need an RB2 because seems like David Montgomery is an RB2 for you, right? So if you need an RB2 bad, I mean, I'd I'm thinking most people might be sitting around 70 or $80 with Fab right now to this point, potentially. So out of that, I'd say a solid 30% of your Fab. Like the guy's going to be there for 5 weeks. So 30% is probably the floor. If you need to go more, go do it. So 30% of your Fab, easy for someone like Damien. Hey, he's got some good pedigree. He was potentially a Super Bowl MVP. I think he should have won it that game where they actually won the title. Like he was phenomenal in that game. He does a lot of different things. So he can do his things out of the backfield, and he's a pretty stocky guy to do in between the tackles work. So
Yeah, he's a good pass catcher. He's going to be the starter for at least 3 weeks. If you really need a running back, I would put, yeah, I agree, like 30% and even more if you are desperate enough. And
definitely. And Gainwell, I'd say he's a solid 20 to 25, especially if like you're kind of maybe don't have as much Fab, but you're like, okay, I'm like, because I'm sitting around 60 to 65 in a lot of leagues. I'm not afraid to throw another 20 to 25% on a guy like Kenny Gainwell. So
Fantasy Catch-Up says just got offered Josh Allen, Cooper Kupp, and Cordell Patterson for Kyler Murray, Devontae Adams.
Wow.
Dude, that's crazy.
Fantasy Catch-Up.
Yeah.
What to do?
Let's see, Josh Allen or Kyler Murray? I'd go Kyler Murray.
I mean, those guys are so good.
Yeah, but if you had a pick, and then if I go Cooper Kupp or Devontae Adams, I'm going Devontae Adams still, even though Kupp's having good.
And J-Row over Patterson too. I mean, the Kyler Murray and the trio has more upside in my opinion, just because until CPAC gets more work, because you're not going to again we don't predict you can't predict touchdowns. You can't. I think it's absurd to him to keep that up on 30% snaps and still producing 2 to 3 touchdowns almost every single week, or at least a touchdown every single week because he's at least getting one and also getting like a ton of catches. So it's insane. But yeah, I like the ladder of that trio.
Yeah, don't accept the offer because I think he's at the bottom.
I know. You're talking about Gainwell?
He just dropped Damian Williams.
Oh, he dropped Damian? I dropped Damian too like 2 weeks ago. So don't be too mad at it. But yeah,
I'd be mad. I'd be pissed if I were you, Andrew. I'd be so freaking mad.
I mean, he couldn't do nothing for you the last couple of weeks. So if you had to drop him, you had to drop him. Maybe he was trying to get Chuba. Maybe he was trying to get.
That's why you keep a guy like Damian because of an injury. You expect maybe Montgomery will get injured, and that's what happened. And you dropped him too early, Andrew. You lost it, and you probably lost your year because of that.
I will say that one of my strategies is if I either miss out on my target in waivers and I know I have a spot that I was willing to drop anyway, I will look for one of those kind of scenarios. Like who's the next best running back that would benefit the most in case someone gets hurt and I get him for a free spot because obviously he's not targetable. So that's what happened to me in a league when where CMC got hurt the week before, but I had a spot. I didn't get the guy I wanted, but I picked up Chuba the week before CMC got hurt. So I didn't have to worry about Fab the next week or wasting a rolling spot for waivers. So, I mean, that's a potential strategy for you guys too. So maybe you miss out on Damian this week. You miss out on Pirine or Gainwell. Look for the next best beneficial back on the spot on the waivers and pick them up for free because obviously they're not a target right now, but in case something happens, you have that spot already handled.
So I have this question, Fantasy Catch-Up asks CMC for Chubb and I'm guessing Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
David Johnson.
I don't know. Yeah, so specify real quick, but I'm guessing that's Deontay, especially if it's something for CMC.
I mean, I like Chubb and Deontay Johnson, don't get me wrong, but I can't. CMC is a league winner. He's both of those in one, in my opinion.
And I think Matt Rule said they're going to get him on the practice field, or at least try to get him on the practice field this week. So it's like if he does come back, that's an automatic 25 that you're giving up.
Right. Yeah,
so he has CMC. And it is Deontay. I mean, that is a decent offer for CMC. And I mean, I consider it, but it's tough, man. Are you 1-3? Are you hurting? If you're not, if you're 3-1 or better, I wouldn't do it because you're gonna now get CMC back.
All in one show. How's it going, man?
What's up, man? Appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe, please. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, please,
appreciate your comments, though.
Mahomes for Herbert and Hopkins need a receiver to complete Calvin Ridley. I'll compliment Calvin Ridley. Fantasy catch up. You're 4-0. Yeah, don't trade, bro.
I wouldn't trade it then.
He's
Yeah,
coming
man.
back. You're gonna win. You're gonna win it all.
Exactly. Yeah.
All in one show. So Mahomes for Herbert and Hopkins. Need a receiver. Who do you have another quarterback? All in one show.
Mahomes for Herbert and Hopkins.
Oh, for Herbert. He wants to get Herbert and Hopkins. Ooh.
He's got Calvin Ridley, but he's sitting with Mahomes and Ridley. He wants to maybe get Hopkins with Ridley and Herbert. I mean, Herbert's that guy, pal. He is that guy. But, I mean, it's tough to give it's difficult to give up a guy like Mahomes just because even though he's struggling, like I don't even know if he's struggling. I mean, the team is 2-2. That's why I would only say he kind of struggling in a way. But me personally, I wouldn't give up Mahomes. I don't care who it is. Mahomes is too valuable. That's my
opinion. And Hopkins, like it's a big name, but like the Cardinals have
in our cold list that I was like he's kind of not performing to ADP, so I was going to bring him up later in the segment. Yeah.
So with me, he's in a high passing offense, which is good, but they have so many weapons there. They have AJ Green, we got Rondell Moore, you got Christian Kirk, Edmonds, Connor, even Max Williams is getting in and out. So yeah, he's a great receiver. But is he like the true number one that's going to help your fantasy team? Like, I don't really know. I don't really know about that. So this trade, for me, it's not worth it to give up Mahomes.
And I would say this too. Like, I would only give up Mahomes for another quarterback and getting something next to it like a nuke if I had like a guy like Mike Williams or a Keenan Allen next to it. Because even if I'm going downgrading to a Herbert, downgrade is I use that subjectively. Because I do believe Herbert can be a top 5 quarterback, fantasy quarterback. But if I'm going to downgrade because you are taking a little hit there, I would only do it if I had something next to it as my receivers as being something to complement my quarterback. A guy like Mahomes, you can have him naked and still produce. Herbert, I would just kind of like that little extra punch. And Mike Williams actually got stumped this week too, so it comes with the territory. I don't know.
Daniel Jones is my backup. That's not a bad backup. He's actually pretty fire.
Good, man.
Try to trade him.
They're better than us. They're in better positions than we are.
Really? Top 2 players to start at each position this week. Oh, man. I'd have to look through. Like, I do like.
Well, I mean the big name guys anyway. I mean, you got Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook in great spots. Those are obvious, right?
Yeah, Mahomes, Murray.
Murray's in a great spot.
I think it's Bills versus Chiefs. I think that's going to be high scoring.
One of them. I mean, any quarterback that goes against the Chiefs produces. Any quarterback does. It's just because they're always playing from behind most of the time, and they're going to need that extra yard. So,
and then Mahomes is going to produce. You know that. But fantasy catch up. Tune in on Friday. We're going to have our starts of the week, so you'll get a better info on Friday right before the games.
And for receiver, though, real quick on receiver, though, I'd say the top.
How big are you in bed, Daddy? Well, I'm 6 feet, so if that's what you're asking, I'm pretty tall. So that's the question.
Block that, dude. Okay. I will say on the receiver side,
keep him, bro. This guy's
asking.
I
want Diggs this week. I want Diggs this week for a top receiver, just because it is against the Chiefs. Like I said, like that production.
Yeah, even a lower value, Emmanuel Sanders should do great too.
Should be on your target there too as a top pick.
Start of the week.
Minnesota faces. Who's Minnesota face this week? My goodness, I think he's in a good spot though. Just blanking on the team. Waller's in a good spot this week. Waller's due for a big game because he's been running with 5 catches for the last 3 weeks consecutively. But that's Diggs, Adams, D-Hop. I know I missed one. I think the first one.
What should I do with Kamara? Was this question?
It's actually Kamara. It's Kamara. His sister made it.
Kamara. God, sorry, Kamara, if you're watching.
It's all good. I'd make that mistake all the time.
Kamara. I would keep Kamara. He got 26 carries last week, right?
But no catches. No targets.
No targets, but he's getting the volume. And for a running back, you want volume. Unless you could trade him for a good value trade. And if you shop him around, and let us know, or let your league mates know that you're willing to trade him and see what you get, and then let us know, and we'll help you out.
My thing is with Kamara is what happened. Did they forget that he's a great pass catcher? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
like
don't. Remember
they
in
need help.
preseason, right? You remember what I said about in preseason, right? Though about the Saints offense.
You did. Yeah, Joey said that Kamara was going to be a snub this year. So
It's just that offense. Just it's a brand new
all
offense,
of it.
and it's I don't know, man. It just scares me.
And plus,
You're
with
always
Taysom
going to
Hill
start
taking, I think what hurts is Taysom Hill taking all that red zone work.
that
He
too.
scored 2 touchdowns with that, so
That
that
too.
should go to Kamara. He should be getting those touchdowns there, but it's just not working.
It makes no sense. So Jace or JC, I don't want to botch your name, but Jace, I really I would shop him around personally. That name value, plus he's still getting a lot of production and work and volume, so you can probably still shop him around and get something big in return. I'd honestly rather have Zeke. I know that Pollard is sneaking in, but Zeke is still getting quality work inside the 5 work. He still gets some targets. He still gets quality, like maybe 13 to 17 carries. I'd rather have Zeke than Kamara.
Yeah, trade for Zeke, bro.
Yeah, that's me. Please
Okay,
answer
here's a
my
question in
guys.
fantasy
You guys are doing
catch-up.
great. Last one, I promise. Okay. Well,
Oh, hold on.
what was his last
Go
one?
back. Let's go back up.
Go ahead.
It's on the screen here. Diggs, Adams, or D Hop. Pick 2. Adams and Diggs. That's easy
Yeah,
for me.
Diggs and Adams for me too. D Hop can have a good week, but right now at this juncture, Diggs and Adams.
Yeah, Taysom Hill saw those 2 touchdowns. We talked about that. Sucks.
I don't understand Sean Payton's obsession. I don't understand it either right now, man. He loves Taysom Hill. He loves him some Taysom Hill. It's
Yeah, Taysom Hill is
frustrating
really annoying
for
for
fantasy.
fantasy.
Yeah,
He's really annoying, bro.
very annoying. Appreciate you guys though. Where were we? I love these comments. I just always like will lose my spot when I'm like looking at this thing. Appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe, please. What else we got, Yosef?
Let's skip down a little bit. Yeah, see you Friday, bro. Tune in. We're gonna have our starts of the week and our duds and all that. It's a good show, so tune in and you can ask more questions on that day.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Rookie QB talk. Let's transition there. Put Trey Kamara and put Taysom at running back. I mean, they probably should. I mean, like Raiders should also put Hunter Renfro at safety compared with that hit that he put on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All these out of position players, maybe. I don't know. Rookie QB talk. They've all done something to this point, especially in week 4. I did go out on a limb and even put out. I was about to pick the Jets in our pick 'em for one thing. That was number 1. I got scared off because of the big dog, King Henry. But I did say that Zach Wilson was going to show some things in this game to know why Robert Saleh and company wanted to pick him number 2. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence did great on Thursday night. Trey Lance had a great half of football. Mac Jones outplayed Tom Brady on Sunday Night Football. And my guy, Justin Fields, wasn't flashy, didn't turn the ball over. He worked up and down the field. He made some great throws. There were like 3 to 4 throws that were just dimes. Deep balls with touch, lasers across the middle, corner throws on a rope. So they've all done some things. Now, my question to you, which one would you roster if you had to right now?
I'm going with Trey Lance. Just from what I saw from the half, from that one half, 20 points, the running ability. I think he has better running ability than Fields does, and he has more weapons on the Niners offense with better coaching. That's what's the most important. The coaching for the Niners, they're going to put him in the best position to win the game, and they have Kittle he can lie on. With Fields, the coaching is just so bad. Even if he has the talent in the offensive line, it's just for fantasy wise, I don't really like it. I'm worried over there. So if I had to pick one, I'm going Trey Lance for the upside, and waiting on him on my bench. But as far as Mac Jones, yeah, he's a great QB for the NFL, but for fantasy, he's not going to give you much. He doesn't provide anything on the ground. Trevor Lawrence, he's getting better every week, which is great to see. And he's been doing good running the ball now. It's exciting. So he's probably number 2. And then we saw Wilson finally get into his own, but it was a terrible Tennessee defense. And he plays another bad defense next week against Atlanta, so we'll see what happens. But he's getting confidence. He's getting there. But would I have him as my fantasy quarterback? No, I wouldn't. So my top guy is Trey Lance. How about you?
So yeah, that's how you ranked him. You're going Trey Lance, T-Law. Who's your 3?
Fields,
and then Mac and Zach.
Or Zach? Mac and Zach. That's right.
Okay. Pretty close to mine. I'd rather have T-Law right now, in all honesty. If Trey Lance plays, he's number 2. Actually, if he gets the start, he's number 1. But they're still up. Yeah, I'll go Trey Lance, T-Law, Fields, and Mac and Zach. Actually, I do agree with you, but he has to start. Obviously, with Jimmy G says that there's potential he can play. So this obviously no.
Just rest, Jimmy. They have a bye week.
We all want him to rest. We all want him to rest. But I will say it's a close 1A and 1B for me because T-Law has been showing some things and on with little talent around him. I mean, Marvin Jones is good. So they're finally getting Chenault some love now. Visca. But yeah, I agree with you nonetheless. Yeah, I like Trey Lance if he gets a start for sure. That offense is just better overall. The whole team is better. But yeah, Mac and Zach, their rushing ability is not there, so the floor is not safe. But the other 3 give you that floor. Cool. Now, long term, I want to ask a long term question. Who's going to be the guy out of this class in your opinion? I don't even know if I got a definitive answer from you or Brian with that. I know you guys know mine, but what is your call long term?
I can't really tell on Trey Lance yet.
Okay.
But I feel like
it's all potential anyway. I mean, there's only 4 games. It's a small sample size for the other guys.
Yeah, really.
So you're all working on a small sample size.
I don't know. I really liked what I saw from Mac Jones. Are we talking fantasy wise or just strictly quarterback?
Both.
Okay, both.
Chad, go ahead. Who do you guys think is the better rookie quarterback out of this class? Tell us why.
I think Trevor Lawrence. He's been starting 4 games, and it seems like he's getting better each game. And that's with sucky coaching with Urban Meyer. So,
and what about Urban Meyer, dude? What is he doing, man?
Dude, that's funny, man. Bro,
where was that hand going, Urban Meyer? Where was that hand going?
He's still in college, man. He's in college days.
Getting a little grabby.
You can't let that leak on social media either. What are you doing?
And then you see that his wife posted a shot meanwhile, Buddy had a night out and she's with the kids reading a story and stuff. Man, that sucks.
Dude, that's so embarrassing. Imagine.
Kill me.
I would
kill me, bro.
I'd be in the doghouse.
Hell yeah.
Anyways,
there.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, it would be my long term. If this is a dynasty league, are you talking about?
I mean, I'm in a dynasty league, yeah.
If this is a dynasty league, I'm still going Trey Lance. It's just if he gets the running game,
that's good. It's fair. It's fair. It's
definitely gets going,
viable,
and I can afford to leave him on my bench. Yeah, I'm going Trey Lance.
Awesome. We'll wait till discuss with Brian. He's probably still going to just say Tua because that's this boy. He's not even in the
Tua.
Just Tua. Miss you, Brian. Come on now. I think that is. Oh, you know what? There was one more injury that I didn't bring up because we were talking about T-Law. Made me think about it. But we did find out that DJ Chark does have a broken foot. I think it's short-term IR. I think he's definitely going to be out for at least 3 to 4 weeks, if not a little bit more. So Visca does take a bump after seeing how they got him more involved this past week. Yes, it was a soft matchup against Cincinnati. But I do feel the condensed target share is beneficial to him and his value. So bump him up a little bit in value. If he's still somehow on your waivers, I doubt it because he was definitely popular this offseason. But maybe you can try working a deal.
Speaking on the Visca is he's pretty good. I'm so mad I traded him again. But going back to that,
I traded him to Brian, and then you traded him to you, and then you traded
everybody had him. He's been going around.
Your camera is delayed, bro. Just letting you know.
Oh man, yeah, my Wi-Fi's going low. Come on, bandwidth. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just that you're like one of those old school karate movies, like where you're or no, like that kind of thing. It's like
Oh,
delayed.
uh,
Anyway, all good. Oh, never mind. We lost them. Now it's a solo pod. Hello, everyone. We're gonna go, or I'm gonna go with our hot and cold players, and first one on my list is Cordell Patterson. We've been talking about him pretty much all stream. Oh, here comes Joseph back. You're on mute right now, though. You're just on mute. Just hit the mute button. There
hey,
you go.
before you get into that, let's do the waivers for receivers and quarterbacks because we just running backs.
No problem. Okay. Waivers I have for receivers. I mean, I still see Manny Sanders still not being picked up in every league. I think he should be rostered in every league.
Definitely. If you don't have him now,
It's
and
pretty
he's
late.
still on the waivers, he's up there. Probably number one on receivers.
Yeah, he's number one. One guy that I dropped that entered the waiver, I guess the group here is Darnell Mooney, because I think now with Fields he's more viable because of the deep ball, and he had a couple throws to him that were just beautiful. One of them was a little out overthrown, but Darnell Mooney made a huge play, diving catch. It was a great play.
Yeah, he seems to be the top guy in that offense.
They like him a
especially
lot.
for Fields.
Yeah. They like him a lot. A-Rob's gonna have his day, and I think this could be a good week for him because, like I said earlier, Raiders three corners got hurt. I think one of them can potentially come back this week because I don't think it was that major. But our top corner pulled a hammy, Casey Hayward. Trayvon Mullen has a foot. I think he's the one that could possibly still come back. The other one that is nervous is Nate Hobbs because he is actually getting concussion protocol, and with those, you never know.
Didn't Arnett and
Arnett came back. Arnett hurt himself, but he came back and finished the game. So I expect Arnett and Trayvon Mullen to be our top two backs, our corners. But if Trayvon's foot is a little more serious, then it's going to be a Meek, and I think we're going to pick up like at least two corners off the waivers to play. But that's an advantage for A-Rob, big time.
Yeah, and then how about Randall Cobb? I think he's interesting with.
That's if MVS is still out. If MVS
he's gonna be out for a couple more weeks.
So yeah, then Cobb is fair. AJ Green is another one that's entered the Carnival of Arizona offense.
He scored touchdowns in 3 straight games. He's looking pretty consistent, so that's what you want to see from AJ Green.
He's ahead of Kirk. I think he's number 2, honestly, and because Rondale it went back down in routes run. It's just not consistent in routes being run by Rondale Moore. He is the flashiest. Although I do feel like maybe this week it's been a little dry for him. I think he's going to catch a long one, but I don't think he's going to get a lot of volume. But yeah, Nuke, AJ Green, Rondale Moore, then Christian Kirk in that order for me.
How about Hunter Renfrow?
Next to Emmanuel Sanders, he should be number 1, a priority for everyone.
Yeah, I have slight nod to Sanders just because he's in a more high-profile offense. He's doing it downfield. Renfrow is the more safe. He's going to get you points pretty much no matter what. He's like such a safe option. He's going to get like 5 receptions every game. So far, he has actually, and he scored touchdowns the last 2 games. So if he can get those 5 receptions and be a red zone target, well, that's going to be great for your team. So I have him number 2.
So you go 3, Manny and then Renfrow. I'll go Renfrow then Manny,
okay.
Just because Manny to me like he's kind of sort of touchdown dependent. Am I right or am I wrong on that? Because I don't think he gets the volume. Because remember, volume is king, and I don't think he gets the targets as much as Renfrow does.
Yeah, that's true.
So I go Renfrow then Manny, and then I'd probably go AJ Green.
But if you look at the reason I have Sanders higher is just the more upside. Just he's going to get the long bombs and touchdowns. It just depends what you want for your team.
Yeah, that too. But
it's very close. It's very close. Either or.
Yeah, but I like going with the 4 more too. In most cases, then I go Darnell Mooney after AJ Green, and then I think after that, I'm trying to think who else is out there.
Cobb, you don't put Cobb in there.
Cobb will probably be after those guys, but you know who actually I like, who still might not get picked up. I picked him up last week in a number of leagues because I had an IR slot, was Rashad Bateman. I picked him up as a flyer. I know it's the Baltimore offense, but after seeing him cooking Marlon Humphrey in off-season training camp and preseason like warm-ups and stuff, I like Rashad Bateman. I think he can add an element to that offense and help Marquise Brown a little bit more too. So Rashad Bateman, if he's out there, that's another guy. Jamison Crowder came back this week.
Oh, I didn't mention him. I like Jamison Crowder.
Moore's still out. That slot is his, and he can definitely.
Jamison Crowder will probably be my number 3. He's another high floor guy for me.
That's definitely fair. So hope that helps. That's like a good solid 5 to 7 receivers that you guys can look for in waivers tonight or tomorrow, depending on when your waivers process. Yeah, let's answer these. James Zhao. Got CD, trade CD Cook, Damian Harris for Lockett, King Henry, and Henderson. Anything with King Henry, do it. I know Cook is great, but he's been still hampered with injury. I give the edge to King Henry there. CD had a bad week. So did Lockett. I think CD's floor is better than Lockett's, unless Joseph disagrees with me there. And I like Henderson more than Damian Harris. So I say yeah.
I agree with everything you said.
Yeah, so I mean, you're losing a little bit with the CD, going from CD to Lockett, but Lockett can win you weeks. So the upside of Lockett is higher. King Henry, now that he's Kamara, if we redrafted right now, King Henry's number 1 unquestioned, hands down.
Yeah, he's even getting the catches out of the back. It's like, bro,
I love
unstoppable.
Remember when Brian was like, King Henry catches no balls? That's true back in the past, but now King Henry is the GOAT right now of fantasy. He's the fantasy MVP right now, for sure.
Over here, I'm picking up. You might not agree with this, but I'm going with Jacoby Myers in this situation.
No,
we've talked about how he's not getting the touchdowns. He still hasn't had a touchdown
in his whole career. He's never had a touchdown.
But once he gets one, by some miracle, he's gonna be, way above these guys. So the high volume is what I like. I know Joey likes that. He's getting like 10 targets a game. So if I had to pick one, I'm picking Myers.
But will that sustain?
Yeah, I mean, it's been sustained.
Because, I mean, Kendrick Bourne's getting more targets. Nelly Aguilar is now finally getting involved. And finally, we saw both tight ends get involved. So you think there's enough meat on the bone for Jacoby?
Yeah. I think so. He's a number 1.
Okay.
He's number 1.
It's fair.
But he says pick 2. Okay, so I'd pick Myers and
Vishka.
Yeah, I'm leaning Visca or AJ Green, but I'll go Visca. We can agree on that one.
Yeah, AJ Green, he's viable.
If you're looking for the high volume, though,
I think the other two have more volume. Yeah, personally, Galladay just scares me, and he didn't do much even with Slayton and Shepard out. So that's another reason why I'm not too high on Galladay. And then obviously Juju, probably the worst quarterback out of all those that are on this list.
No, Juju sucks, bro.
He should have had 2 touchdowns this past week. Ben just overthrew him. Maybe it was just because Juju was too slow.
He's not good for fantasy.
I don't know, man. It's just
that was with Claypool out.
Yeah,
that was with Claypool out.
Yeah, start 2: Henderson, Lockett, and Gibson. I think that's Antonio Gibson. Seattle plays. They
play the Rams.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah,
but Metcalf week is coming, but not against the Rams. I don't know. I probably like the Lockett in that matchup just because I think they're going to zone up a lot more, and the Rams have playing a lot more zone, and Lockett is a zone king. So I like Lockett in the matchup against the Rams.
Who's Washington playing?
I don't have the list up. I got to pull up my phone. Sorry, guys.
But I just out of my head, on top of my head, I'm picking.
Washington plays the Saints. It's a tough.
Okay, I'm starting Henderson and Lockett.
Yeah, and Henderson obviously playing Seattle. That's a lock for sure. I'm going Henderson and Lockett. I'm playing that game more than Gibson. We've already talked at length. I think we've had 3 straight weeks of picking running backs against the Saints run defense and hit all of those. So
Well, Barkley had a good game, but not running. He had a good game catching the ball. And
I think the
Gibson, we
last
know
one was a
he's
run
not
though. The game
right.
winner was a run though, but it was like 5 yards out.
Oh yeah. Well, Gibson's not the pass catching back. He's not gonna. He might catch some, but McKissick's the guy there. So it'll be, if I had to pick two, the best matchups Henderson and Lockett, and also Gibson is dealing with injuries every week, so it could be a game where he goes out. You want to risk it.
I will also throw it out there. Everyone that has been chiming in, please let us know how we're doing. We're about to unveil our after this last segment. We're going to unveil our Twitter. We just added to our social media. We have an IG, we have a TikTok, we have all this YouTube channel, but now we just started our Twitter. So we'll unveil that as well.
And Joey will be able to provide updates throughout the week on there. So keep checking that out for daily updates. Godwin or CD rest of the season. I'm going Godwin in this situation. I like. It's really hard. It's like they're both really good, but the Cowboys, they've kind of gone away from that 50 pass plays a game. It depends on the matchup, so that could go away. But as far as Tampa, I feel like Godwin is safe any game he plays, regardless of the matchup. So I'm going Godwin there.
I mean, they both have good quarterbacks. I think when CD gets Gallup back, I think what a lot of people aren't realizing about this Dallas offense, and they're still doing well without him, but I think the production from Schultz is predicated on the fact that Gallup's been out of the lineup. And the reason why, like, days like what CD just had is because Gallup has been out. I think when Gallup comes back, which is in a couple weeks, I'd rather have CD the rest of the season because of that notion. But you can't go wrong with either one. I'm leaning CD, but it's very, very close, James. Very close.
All right. Ridley or Keenan Allen, full PPR rest of the season. I'll let you go first on this
one. Keenan, I can't trust Matt Ryan. I think it really is getting the targets, but the efficiency is just completely horrendous. I was also lower on both of these guys preseason as well. I just moved them down a few slots. I definitely I think Keenan's still seeing the lowest ADOT of his career the last year and this year still. I mean, he had 7 catches last night, but he only had 38 yards. So Mike Williams is the Mike Thomas of this offense, but Keenan is still going to be viable because he gets a full point every time he catches the rock. And I think that insurance and that floor, because that's been his whole career has always been a safe play, right, Joseph? Always been a safe play. Yeah. So I'm going to lean Keenan, PPR next the full year.
Yeah, for me, it's close. I am a Ridley manager. So that being said, I'm going Keenan Allen just because I know the frustration of having Matt Ryan as your quarterback. The offense is not as good as the Chargers offense. Herbert is better. And Keenan Allen is going to get that volume. He didn't have the yards last night. He's really not really a yardage type of guy. But for PPR, he's going to get 5-10 receptions almost every game. So he's solid floor guy. So I'm going Keenan.
I will say that I am playing Ridley in DFS this week just because he's playing the Jets. So it might look like Ridley might have a pop week coming. But again, like you said, rest of season, I'm still sticking with Keenan. Is Gaskin droppable? 100%. That's my. I wouldn't want to run Gaskin.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't want to drop him. I don't want to.
You could drop him if you really need to.
Definitely. I don't want to own him. But I would say before you drop him, there might still be a guy that just lost David Montgomery. Offer him there and maybe get some other piece that's more valuable. Don't, because starting running backs still have value because they are still starting. So I would venture out, my James, and still try to pull some last little meat off the bone if you can before you drop them. But if you can't pull a trade off, drop them if you need a spot. Was Mike Williams' last game just a bust? I think it was just the Raiders doing pretty well, even with their
your horn.
No, man, for real, it was just a bust. This is going to happen with Mike Williams. He's never had this much success. Talent has never been an issue for Mike Williams. It's been more availability, him being on the field, and he's at least sustained that for the first month of the year. But I think he is a print fest. And by that, I mean trust him because he does have the Mike Thomas role in Joe Lombardi's offense. If you guys don't know who Joe Lombardi is, he was the Saints coordinator before coming to LA. You got Eckler in the Kamara role. You got Mike Thomas, the Mike Williams right now. And then this offense has never had a Keenan Allen in the slot before. So Keenan Allen is still going to be viable. But I like Mike Williams. I'm trying to trade for him in a lot of leagues, but a lot of people are still being very high on him. And I'm hoping this week is going to help me.
Yeah, this is probably the week to trade for him.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just one of those games. Throw it out and put him in your lineup next week. Let's see.
How much fab are we dropping on Chenault?
I'm gonna throw out a number. It's just for me, jokes. As far as receivers go, I never want to put too much fab because there's lots of receivers you can get, especially for PPR. So I know Chenault had a good game. The injury to Chark makes him look even better. But I'm not putting way too much. I'm going, I'd say like 14 the most. 14, 13, around there.
14%? Or are you talking about dollars?
Dollars. I don't remember the exact number.
Okay. The thing is, I like that you threw out a random number because a lot of people get stuck in like, I want round numbers. I want 15 or 20.
Oh, man, don't do that.
The thing is with that is a lot of people think that way. And if you throw a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 on there, or just a random digit outside of their like clean numbers, your odds of getting that person a lot higher. Just because a lot of people like to have round dollars. I don't know. I used to be that way, but now I'm starting to throw like 16s out there or something. So
yeah, I'll just put like 1 or 2 more.
Huh?
Yeah, I just put like 1 or 2 more of the odd numbers.
Yeah, you just got to because I think he's around 10, so like I got to throw at least 12. You know.
Exactly.
For Javiska, for me, I'm gonna say 13. I'm gonna say 13.
Yeah, 13.
13. Go ahead.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know about you. I know you're really high on Mike Williams, but I would not trade.
No, but I was really high on Godwin. I had him ranked 13 preseason this year. I told you this was 2019 version of
That's a good question for you there.
And yeah, I mean, I love Mike Williams. But it scares me with availability because it's kind of like Raheem Mostert for me, you know? And man, this is
one thing I want to throw out real quick with this is you see Mike Williams get these dud games every once in a while. But Godwin is rare. Way more rare.
Yeah. I think it's like I think that's more of a trade if like, I just want to make a trade. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're gonna get much more than what you get from Godwin. Maybe you get a couple more points in like when Mike Williams has his pop weeks, but Godwin can ball. So James, only make that move if you truly believe it yourself. But I don't think it's a really high upgrade move. Should I trade away Robert Woods after this week?
Bob likes potatoes. Should I trade away Robert Woods after this week?
You can get
no. I honestly, I called it last week. He was going to get a touchdown. It was garbage time. I'll give you that. But he was upset at the end of this game, and McVay came out and said he wants to get Robert Woods more involved. So I believe him. I think this Thursday night. I'm gonna throw it out there right now. Woods is gonna have a comeback game. Stick with
the Seahawks. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, against the Seahawks, they're gonna throw it a lot. Put them in your lineup. Have confidence. And there's another question down there about got offered Corey Davis. I wouldn't take that. The Jets offense stinks. Yeah, Corey Davis is the number one, but on the team. But I wouldn't take. I'm sticking with Woods the rest of the season.
I honestly like that take. That's going to help me when I do my showdown lineups for Thursday night because I like Lockett this week, and that Robert Woods could be sort of sneaky. So if I win some big money, I'll give you a kickback, Joseph. That'll be something I'll do for you.
Hey, book it, Bob. He'll have a good game this week on Thursday.
Couple regress, and Woods will have his games. Yeah, the thing with like regression, these guys, that's the reason why I wanted to talk about these hot guys like Cordell Patterson, like Cooper Kupp, or any of these guys that are super hot right now. We just saw with Mike Williams. He had 3 straight weeks and then dud. Like, there's regression to the mean. That will always happen. So a lot of people like to value their players, especially when you're trying to trade for them, because you want them really bad too on your roster. People are valuing their players 1.5x of their real value. You got to wait for those dud weeks and lower that market value and pull the trigger on some trades there. But unfortunately, Try to talk to him a little bit more because I really don't think CPAT's going to sustain this insane run. I'm trying to think of other names that I had on this list here. Jamar Chase, even. What do you think of Jamar Chase and his hot start?
I like Jamar Chase. Even with Higgins coming back, I think Burrow is a real connection with Chase, and the timing is so on point. So,
dude, I was saying that this whole preseason as well, man. I said, there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, the timing is legit.
Hot on receivers, though, but everything else, I'm kind of sort of cold.
1 second before we get to you, Max, just to stick on the topic about Cup. Yeah, Stafford is in love with Cup. We have insider information that they eat breakfast together. So this is the reason why. I think they all like potatoes. So that's why they have that connection. So Woods needs to get in the game.
Buddies. Pancakes in football. One of those crab cakes in football and Wedding Crashers, wasn't it? Wrong quote. Sorry.
Who to trade for Dalvin Cook? Want to keep Diggs and Najee Harris? Yeah, keep them. Have Amari Cooper and Adam Thielen. James Robinson, AB, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Mitchell. I would give up Elijah Mitchell, and
he's not going to do it for Elijah Mitchell. Come on, man. Dalvin Cook owner's not going to look at Elijah Mitchell.
No, well, not just him.
I know, but still, just not enough. Who else? I mean, okay, let me hear you.
You can get Adam Thielen because they're on the same team, and then probably AB as well. I think that might do it. Adam Thielen, Elijah Mitchell. AB.
You're gonna have to give up if you're not going to give up those other two backs. I think you're going to have to give up one of those in all honesty. But if I'm trying to be savvy, I'm going to say Amari Cooper, J-Row, and then throw Elijah Mitchell as a kicker as an extra value for a running back just because he is starting. Trey Sermon seems like he's taking over the job. So Elijah Mitchell definitely should be part of a reason for this trade.
I would trade him now. Yeah, trade him because even that, we have Jeff Wilson coming back soon.
Yeah, I think Elijah Mitchell's running back by committee anyway. Like, even if he is starting, they're still going to rotate backs. But, yeah, I think you're going to have to give up Amari Cooper for sure, J-Row, because he's actually playing better the last 2 weeks, and then maybe throw Elijah Mitchell there.
He has Madison on his bench, so I get why you would. But even with Madison on your bench, you could just wait for one Cook injury, which is bound to happen, and you wouldn't need to trade for Cook.
Well, he's still hurt this week, so and he hasn't been healthy all year, and yet he's still been producing pretty good, but it's not number 2 pick value that he's producing at. I'll have him on my cold list, but he's kind of in that tweener, like he's kind of like playing like low end RB1 right now. Let's see.
Do you think Mike Williams will affect Keenan Allen? No, he hasn't really affected him yet. I mean,
he has affected him because like Mike Williams has never done this before, and
but I think it's in a positive way or in a negative way.
I think it's just kind of stayed the same because Keenan Allen still had this. Like I said, his ADOT has stayed the same from last year. I think his lowest ADOT, average depth of target, and then has like been nine yards, single digits. Now it's like getting closer to like 8 or 7 or something like that last time I heard. So it hasn't really helped Keenan Allen. I think it's kind of been stagnant, and I think Mike Williams might be like. And here's another fun fact: they asked Keenan Allen who had the best hands on the team. Guess who Keenan Allen said?
Mike Williams.
Yeah, it's shocking. I thought he would say himself.
Yeah, he usually does say that.
Exactly. So that's interesting. And Keenan Allen savvy is an old vet now. He's not a young chap, and he believes in this young kid. I just think Mike Williams is kind of that guy. Is that guy?
Yeah, Bob, I wouldn't worry about either of those guys. I think you could plug them into your team and they're instant starters every week.
Okay, are you going to try Mitchell, AB, and Thielen? This team is lacking receivers. Okay, he's going to go with your option there.
Yeah, try it, Max.
If that works, please post it.
Don't forget to like and sub.
Yeah,
it really helps
especially if he's right. Yeah, you got to.
Non-PPR league, keeper league. I traded Jonathan Taylor and A.J. Brown for Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Swift. Thoughts? I like that trade. I really do like that trade.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown is slipping when he does come back. Sorry, he I don't know. He'll probably do better, but he hasn't looked the same since last year. And Calvin Ridley, he's definitely an upgrade over A.J. Brown in my opinion. And DeAndre Swift has looked great. He had this one dud game, but he gets so many targets out the backfield and so much volume, which which I would put over Jonathan Taylor as well. So I like the trade.
Yeah, I think for non PPR, John Taylor is the better option just because it's non PPR anyway, because the catches don't really matter. It's not a bad trade. I think the real upside of the trade is that you're kind of getting rid of yourself of a guy like AJ Brown because he's hurt. The offense doesn't look right. Yeah. So I do like the trade in the short term. I hope that it can sustain. I hope that Kyle really gets right. I really do, even though I was kind of down on him early on this year. But yeah, I like the trade overall. I like the trade overall.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we
with that.
wanted to cut it to an hour, but I think because of the engagement, we're obviously over an hour again. But that's all thanks to you guys. We really appreciate this.
Yeah,
Please
right.
like our tip jar if you like what we're doing and we're like your engagement, our communication with you guys. Just hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit that noti bell, and just be with us for the rest of the season. Right now, our schedule is Tuesday nights and Friday nights, and then we put out any timely updates on our other social media platforms. So you guys can be connected with us throughout the season. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. So Brian Esquita asks Henry plus Chase for Kamara plus Metcalf. Who wins this trade? The one with Henry. The one that's getting Henry wins this trade.
I'll say the one that stays healthiest throughout the rest of the year too, man. But like the wins the trade. I don't. Me personally, I don't like the verbiage of winning the trade. But like I know what you're trying to ask, and I'll answer it just because of the question. And yes, I like Henry and Chase over Kamara and Metcalf on that one, Brian. Appreciate you. I got offered a trade where I get Diggs for Debo and Ridley. Ooh, I do love Debo though. Do you think I should buy low on Ridley when he has some bad weeks? And this could be, like I said, this could be a very good bounce back spot for Ridley. I think you can see some back-to-back performances for Matt Ryan going against the Jets in London. But I also think that this is a great week for Diggs because they're going against Kansas City. It's
yeah.
I don't know, man. But you're getting good value. You're getting good value for Diggs because Debo is really good. I would hold on to Diggs. I think the best is yet to come for that Buffalo offense. And this
he's saying he's getting offered Diggs. So you say he should keep Debo and Ridley?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Oh, if you're getting Diggs, yeah, I'd say I like that trade. I like that trade to get Diggs because I think the best is yet to come. Josh Allen has been so inefficient, especially in the red zone. I think they kicked like 4 or 5 field goals this week against the worst defense in the league in Houston. That's just I think that's an anomaly. I think that's an outlier. I think they're going to get right, and I think it's a great spot against the Chiefs because everybody lights it up against the Chiefs. Just like fantasy friendly in that sense. Their defense has a lot of problems. So I think this could be a really good dig spot. And I think anytime you can get a round 1 type guy, I'd say do it to add to whoever you drafted round 1.
Yeah, I like that take, but for me, like Debo and Ridley, either one of them can blow up, right, in any week. And Ridley hasn't done it yet. Debo has done it. It's like 3 of the last 4 weeks. So to trade both of them away, it's kind of tough for me, even for a guy like so good as Diggs. So,
Bob, who did you draft 1? I mean, he might have even drafted Ridley in the first round. Kind of seeing, like, I don't know, but if you drafted a running back and you're getting, let's say you drafted like Kamara or something like that, and you're getting Diggs, I mean, I kind of like that, just the firepower you have. I also think the reason why I like Diggs over the other two is because I know Ayuk didn't do much this past game, and that one like sweet pass that he threw to Debo and it was just wide open, uncovered, it kind of skewed his production a little bit because that was just a blown coverage. Like they didn't cover him. Oh, it was a 6-man league. No wonder. No wonder. Okay.
You probably go Diggs then, just because.
Yeah, go Diggs.
Get the upside.
Then you're gonna have so much on. Yeah, you're gonna have so many available options then in the 6-man league. You're gonna be rotating guys in and out. So yeah, go get Diggs. Go get Diggs.
I think he'll be fine, but I'm not expecting like in regards to this question. I think Hopkins will be fine. I think he will be fine, but I don't think he's a top 5 guy this season. I'm taking him out the top 5 as far as receivers. But will he be fine? Yeah, he'll be fine. If you want to trade him, he's probably a good person to trade. But I would trade him on a high week.
See, he has Kamara. Look at Bob though. He has Kamara, Zeke, Ridley, Allen, Waller, and Mixon. If you add Diggs to that with Kamara, Zeke, and Diggs, it's insane, bro. Like that's why I'm going to do it.
Yeah, do the trade. I agree with James there.
Yeah, and Mahomes. Oh, and he got Mahomes. The 6-man league is great. You just get all stars everywhere. All right. So
Yeah, you want to get the top guy in every position. I think you have that. Waller.
Yeah.
Diggs.
Excuse me.
Mahomes. 3 right there, and then you have probably 5 running backs and Zeke and Kamara. So that's good.
Not COVID.
Hey, Joey, what are you doing here on the comments?
I don't know, man. I decided, throw in there and make sure we get some more engagement. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, we'll answer your question.
Need 2 receivers for this weekend. Tyler Boyd, Robert Woods, Marvin Jones, Cortland Sutton, and Vishka Chenault. Man.
I got to go with the guy I was just tooting the horn for, and that's Robert Woods as 1. And
Robert Woods for this week is just that matchup is so juicy against Seattle. And like you said, McVay making that announcement, I think it's in his favor.
Yeah, I like Woods this week. Boyd, I'm leaving out for now. I think Higgins is coming back this week.
He's questionable. He's going against the Packers, but Packers don't have Jair Alexander. That's another big injury. But usually on the defensive side, we don't really cover that kind of stuff. But Jair Alexander might be missing a few weeks. But he doesn't cover the slot. But still, he's going to get a softer matchup. Looking at Marvin Jones.
I'm going Marvin Jones. They're versing Tennessee, I believe.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Terrible at pass defense.
Terrible.
So Snell or Marvin Jones is good. But I like Marvin Jones as a deeper down the field guy. And DJ Chark's out. I like Marvin Jones this week. I'm going Woods, Marvin Jones here. Sutton is good too, but if I had to choose 2, I'm going Woods and Marvin Jones.
Oh, man. I don't like Sutton. I think Sutton's the lowest on my list right here out of these 5 guys because they're going against Pittsburgh. And, yeah, I know Pittsburgh's been kind of soft, but that one kind of scares me. But I like Robert Woods, and I like Tyler Boyd more than Jones or Chenault, in all honesty.
Really?
But you guys are close. They're close.
Higgins in?
What?
With Higgins in? Or is that with Higgins out?
I don't think it matters too much because I think Tyler Boyd is the one with the volume. But yeah, and again, we don't have the consistency yet from Trevor Lawrence, and I think without Mixon in the game for Cincinnati, I think that's going to be definitely more pass friendly for the offense. Okay, so clearly not enough. I'm 1-3 right now.
Wow, these 6-man leagues are tough, bro. 1-3.
6-man streets. I never been in a 6-man.
We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you back, bro. You're gonna be 3-3 if you go to me.
Well, I think the part of the reason is because he has Ridley and Kamara. Why he's 1-3. The name value looks great, and then Mixon obviously went down, so I can see why he probably lost last week. The other ones I'm not sure. But
Montgomery then
he's out. So you're dealing with some struggling guys plus injuries. I drafted Cam Akers. I'm so emotional. Wow, Bob, we're gonna get you back though. We're gonna get you back. But I think the step in the right direction is go grab Diggs because the best is yet to come on that one.
That's his bench. Not a bad bench either. Well, McCaffrey should be back soon.
How many guys can you start in that league? Like a normal running back, 2 receivers and a flex, or is it double flex? Let us know. I know
let's do the recap real quick because
we're getting playing on time here. Again, guys, we're gonna have Friday night show. And I guess before we go to the recap, I'll just throw out the Twitter right now.
we'll leave in the description.
Just created it today, actually, but I am going to pull it up right here.
Hey, put it in the comment section, Joey, if you can.
Good idea. Yeah, I'll do that too. Can I do that? Where do I type a comment in?
Right there where you can see the chat, you can post a comment, right?
I only see the private chat that I can.
I'll
chat
post
with
it there. Post it
chat.
there.
Okay. All right, hold on. Okay, but it's at Fantasy F Mafia. And I'll throw it there. So if Joseph can put it out there, make sure you guys can see it. But obviously our name is Fantasy Football Mafia. You'll see our little Mafia logo with the little football. That is where you guys can follow us and keep track of our updates throughout the week. I'll try to post some stats and stuff that I pick up throughout the week as well, just to help you guys if that helps with roster decisions. You guys can also DM us on Instagram. What's our Instagram? At Fantasy Football Mafia, I believe. All one word, of course.
Fantasy Football _ Mafia.
There you go. Put that in there too from you, Joseph. Give us a follow there. Joseph will definitely be throwing out on the story posts when we're going live, just in case you miss it. You'll get the alert there. And then obviously our YouTube channel that you guys are already on. So sub there, throw on the notification bell, and we'll be chatting with you guys on Friday. But before we go, our quick recap of what you want, the pick'ems or the.
Let's do the quick. I guess the Jabrones and Goodfellas. Who'd we hit on? Let's just mention that.
There you go. So I struck out this week, and I want a full disclaimer again. I always try to aim to pick away from the popular guys that are always out and discussed throughout the week, because it's easy to pick, a guy like Derrick Henry to hit, especially against like a weak Jets team, right? So I appreciate James. Thank you. So I didn't hit anything this week, but I will say that I hit projection on Ridley. I just thought he was going to have a bigger week. He got 13 targets, only caught 7 of them, but he hit projection. So I count that as a win, though. To me, I struck out.
Just needs those touchdowns.
Yeah, just didn't get the touchdown, but he definitely got the volume and the targets and the catches. Joseph hit on his jabronis, Damian Harris to sit, and he also hit on Christian Kirk to sit, despite some recent success. Brian hit on Devontae Smith, smash spot against the Kansas City Chiefs. Big hit there. And Tannehill shouldn't have gotten there, but the game got close. So Tannehill definitely got to projection, but I'd still give that edge to Brian because I think that was still a bold sit on that one too. So there you go.
Some honorable mentions. We said that Robert Woods would get a touchdown. He did.
True.
Joey mentioned that Wilson will have a comeback game, will have a breakout game. He did.
Yep.
I said in the other stream that Hines was going to have back down to earth game. He did. So we're hitting on these things, guys. Keep watching. We can
definitely
get you back to. We're going to get Bob Likes Potatoes to win his league. You just watch.
Definitely.
Bob's going to like the championship soon.
Definitely. Yeah, we got to get you guys championships.
All right, and
this week for Pick'em, Brian actually won back-to-back weeks. He actually had 11 out of the 15 because we always forget to pick Thursday, but we're going to do that before we leave. We got to pick our Thursday game before we leave. But he had 11 correct. Joseph bringing up the rear with only 6. So Joseph on a cold streak right now. I was
going opposites, and
he definitely was trying to catch up. But I'm still in the lead overall in the season, 38. Brian now is in second with 37 correct, and Joseph 36. So we're tight, but I'm still in the lead despite some not so mediocre weeks, I would say. But anyway, Thursday night we got Seattle and Tennessee.
So let's start with who do you like this game to have if you had to pick a captain in DFS?
Sorry, Rams and Seattle.
Rams and Seattle. Yeah. Who's your captain for DFS?
Man, after what you said about Woods, I'm definitely leaning Woods because I think he's also I haven't looked at the salaries, but
he's cheaper.
Woods, he's definitely cheaper than Kupp, and he's probably gonna be cheaper than Lockett and Metcalf, the way he's been playing. So I like that, but an under like guy that's probably not gonna go that owned either is Darrell Henderson. So those two guys on the Rams side are my popular ones. Then I'll fill the roster out from there. I'm hoping that we get value, like you said, with Carson not practicing today, because that just opens up the whole roster to put in a guys like Kupp and stack it. So that's where I'm kind of going with this showdown slate with either Henderson and Robert Woods as my captain.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. Like, I think Robert Woods is gonna have a breakout game. I really hope he does now because he's really tooting his horn. But
I know, man, he'll be great.
He's he's bound for a breakout. And then what McVay said, Robert Woods' attitude from last game, and hey, they drove right down the field when they started getting him the ball. So I think they realized something there. I know the Seahawks are going to key in on Cup, but obviously you're still starting Cup, you're still starting Woods. Matthew Stafford should have a great game, should have a comeback game. And then on the other side,
Normal guys.
probably I just hold your saddles on Chris Carson. But that run defense of the Rams is pretty good. Metcalf, you're starting him, but he tends to line up with Ramsey a lot in these games. And then, but that on the other side for Lockett, I think he should have a good game. And how about the tight ends?
Yeah. I was going to say, just on that note, before you go into further, was that the Rams defense is different, though, this year. Like, a lot of people are, again, I'm going to reiterate this because a lot of people still think that Jalen Ramsey's trying to shadow, but Jalen Ramsey's just playing the system. And they line him up everywhere, but this is more of a zone-centric scheme. And the guy to play against zones on Seattle is Lockett. But obviously, DK can get there for you in one play. But you're not going to see too much of a shadow. That's all I wanted to bring up. But, yeah, then go ahead with Disley and them.
Yeah, I like Disley. I mean, actually, I'm gonna take that back. I don't like Disley. I don't think he's worth a start.
I think it's just the normal guys. You're gonna play Russ. You're gonna play DK.
I think Joe Everett might be. Is he coming back?
I heard he was on IR, so I don't know if the IR is up because I think it was short-term IR, but I'm not sure if he's back yet.
Yeah, I'm not taking a shot on Disley, but Higbee, if you have him, you're probably starting him. So take your shot on him.
Yeah.
And but as far as DFS, I'm not putting him in there. So I would go with Robert Woods as the captain. I would try to put Matthew Stafford in there and Cooper Kupp, like the top three.
Let us know how you do. If you guys play any DFS or especially showdown slates, throw them in the chat too. We want to applaud you as well. Go win some money. And Joseph, who's going to be your winner though? I'm gonna mark this one down. We're going to get Brian's pick probably on Friday's show, but
I'm going Rams, and I'm going with the score of.
Ooh, give me a score too.
I'm going to score 31-24.
In Rams, you said, right?
Yeah.
31-24. I'm going to write that in too. See if
we'll get to this, Michael, one second.
I am going to go with – damn. Shoot. I'm going to go with Russ on primetime, man. There's something about Russell Wilson just waking up on primetime games.
All right.
I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go opposite of you again. Michael Chapp, I guess we'll just close on this then. We'll do the one last one, but we're gonna close up shop after this one here. I just sent a trade of Hollywood Brown and Zach Moss for Flash Gordon.
Yeah, which Gordon is that?
Gordon?
Melvin Gordon?
Melvin Gordon, maybe? Yeah. I don't think it would be Josh Gordon and Sutton. Let's assume it's Melvin. Melvin and Sutton. So you got two guys on the same team. So that would be a little of a red flag for me.
I'm leaning the Hollywood Brown and Zach Moss side.
Yeah, Melvin. See, it's Melvin. Yeah, the same team kind of worries me just because it's not really good correlation for your lineup because I think if one's going to go off, the other one might not have a great game. I think the real correlation you would want is to have the thrower with the pass catcher. If you're going to have a lot of guys in the same lineup, that's just my opinion. So I like Zach Moss too.
Yeah, and to add to that, I think Bridgewater might be out for a week or two, and Locke didn't look good last game, so the offense is going to hold back. And they have Javonte Williams eating into Melvin Gordon's carries day by day. And on the other side for Zach Moss, I think he's getting the leading role day by day. So rest of the season, I'd rather have Zach Moss. And I like Hollywood Brown and Sutton are pretty close, but I do like the upside more for Hollywood Brown. So
would you rather do Gaskin? No, we said earlier in this show that Gaskin is pretty much droppable at this point. But I would still try to, like, if you had Gaskin, I'd try to trade him for something, but I wouldn't be wanting Gaskin for anything, especially because Zach Moss is getting more work than Singletary. And your bench is ass. I'm sorry, man.
Hey, take your waivers. There's a lot of waiver picks this week.
Yeah. Go for waivers.
Yeah, go hard on waivers this week. Yeah, Damian Williams. You mentioned him in the beginning of the show. Rewind it. Yeah, and you'll.
Yeah, when it's supposed to rewind it, man. Damian Williams, though, I think our second one was who was our second?
Samaje Perine.
No, I think there was another one that was Kenny Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell, if he's out there. Then
I mentioned Darrell Williams, but he's not one you can really start. But he's someone you can stash on your bench. Bolden, another guy you could
There you
stash. Yeah, bro. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're ending the show.
See you guys
Thank
Friday.
you guys for posting your questions. Add us on the socials. We'll be there to answer your questions during the week. And then tune in on Friday. We're going to have our starts of the week, our jabronis, our picks, and we're going to go through the matchups, all the matchups real quick, if you can get to them.
Because we get
Of
the
course, leave your
engagement.
questions.
It's all good.
Leave your questions, your starting sits, and all that during that broadcast. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to end it here. Any last words?
Good luck on waivers tonight.
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Good luck to me.
No.
Peace.
Later.
Oops, wrong button.